What's the overwhelming emotion after that from it? Pretty amazing finish.
Feel like going to sleep. Tired, exhausted. Felt like I played 2 games of footy, but it was a result we're looking for, and the positives were, they definitely outweighed the negatives. To come back from that position and to play the footy and to get the result was fantastic, but to be in the position in the first place is not so good. And again, it's another week of, contrasting styles.
Did you feel at quarter time like potentially the game could have been out of your hands? They had so many opportunities, but you just continued to grind away and find a way. Yeah,
that's right. It doesn't always work like that, but it's a good achievement to get it. But you just have to find a way that, when you're preparing for a game as a player, to expect the opposition to throw something at you. I'm sure we didn't expect their speed today. That looks like they raced and they rushed our possessions. Therefore, we didn't kick the ball well. And instead of just going, bang, I'm under pressure, they're closing quick, I'll just get it away and go long, we couldn't sort of come to that moment where we just chose to kick it and get distance and get a contest. So that was pretty disappointing. It doesn't matter how many times you yell it from the box. The box is a long way from the ground. They can't hear. Well, it didn't change. So you're not until you get them at half-time that you explain how it's being played and what opportunities we can take.
But Mark, the fact that you were still getting those possessions, like you still had the 15 inside 50s, even though they were picked off in the second quarter, that was still pretty encouraging, though.
Yeah, I went in at quarter time and said that sold the belief that it was a better quarter than the first. Yeah, 6 to 22 entries the first quarter, 15 to 11 the second quarter. It was a better quarter, but we just had to be able to get the ball all the way through to our goals, which we weren't able to do in the second quarter. And we found a way in the third and pretty solid fourth quarter. I don't think they kicked the goal in the last quarter, did they?
Two things that happened. One being Heppel going to half-back.
Yes.
What was the thinking behind that? It worked, but what was the...
Well, the thinking was that we just wanted someone to kick-start our ball use, to have the confidence and the belief that he could leave his opponent at the right time, get an overlap handball, and get the ball carried by foot and then a bit deeper. And hence we had Winderlick down back. We put him forward because we just needed someone to control the structure of the forward line.
And it seemed like Winderlick just didn't lose many ground balls and got on the lead like that. And that was, you didn't really have anything until that point.
No, we didn't have enough. We had 6 players playing there. They couldn't work well together. They didn't know when the ball was coming down. They hunted up the ground too far to get a sniff of a kick, and that just makes the ground a mess, which makes it harder for us to move the ball. So putting Licker there, that's one of the real great things about him, is he actually coaches on the ground. He's a real director. He understands the game and can help set it up. And as a result, he got the ball kicked. Did he kick a couple?
Three.
Phew, should have put him there earlier.
You said you sold the belief. Did you believe that they could turn it around as quickly as they did?
Doesn't matter if I believed or not. If I didn't believe, that the players wouldn't believe me, then I had to be believable.
As quickly as they did, though, in the third quarter?
No, I wasn't sure. You're never sure. That was a good result today, but sometimes I've done that before and you don't get the result. Today we did, and we needed it. We needed it to come back and play some decent footy. It's been a while.
Oh, do you think it's the bigger picture? Do you think it's important for these players to play finals?
Yes.
Not just for their development, but also after the horrible couple of years that they've endured?
I think it would be great for their spiritual selves. I think they've had a tough year. They had it taken away from them last year when they qualified. We're all okay with that. It's nice to go through something really tough and get some reward. And clearly there's a lot of people here who have put a lot of time and effort into being an Essendon footballer. Oh, I slipped that one. And they have to get something back the other way. And football, you get a lifestyle, you get some money, you get to do something you love, but you also you you play to play finals, play preliminary finals, play grand finals and win premierships. And this is the first step, hopefully, if we can get in there, which we desperately want to do, that's that first box ticked. And then we've got to win a final, then maybe win 2. And then hopefully this just sets them up for years to come.
Mark, it's actually sort of, speaking of Geelong, do you sort of feel that, like...
Why did I say Geelong?
I know, exactly, shouldn't it? But, like, do you feel that this sort of side is at the same spot as where the Cats were, like, almost in 06, just on the cusp of believing that they're a consistent final side? I do. I think they're capable, and I think that at one stage in their life there's going to be a moment where they just say, well, I'm not going to let the bad stuff happen anymore. And they can do it. I'm not sure when it's going to be. It might be next week. Who knows? But when it happens, it's going to be pretty powerful, and it'll keep people, you know, to taking the levels they haven't been to before. I think they're capable. I think we've got a lot of talent on the squad.
Just on Winderlick, are you not disappointed but surprised that someone who's helped you win in the game today isn't playing on next?
Someone helped us win a few games this year, Jakey. Yeah, I haven't seen it really before. I haven't seen someone in such good form be wanted by a club. Like he outwardly knows. It's clear that the club want him to play, and he's leaving on his terms. It's great for him. Like it's great. You know, it's the best way to do it, isn't it? To leave on your terms. But he's ready. He's obviously ready to leave, exit the game, and move on.
You haven't tried to
We're
change
not.
his mind at all?
I have. Yeah, I try and change it every week. I'm trying to change it right now.
Yeah, and
yeah.
that's something you'll continue to do.
Yeah, it won't work though.
Won't work.
No, he's pretty stubborn.
Just going back to what you were saying about the next step, to come back from 5.5 or 6.5 goals, whatever it was in the third term, and win this game, what does that do for self-belief looking at the next 4 or 5 weeks?
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's self-belief's great. We've talked to them a lot of times. We used to have big losses. We don't have, you know, we have had them this year, but, you know, if you can avoid them, it's great. Again, it's, I'm not so interested as taking a positive from that. I have more of an interest in let's not let it happen. That's what I have. Like, that's what I'm going to try and take out of the game and hopefully get something.
So was that the message in the
yep,
rooms after?
Absolutely, yeah.
You put the acid on Joe Danaher a bit. Do we, though, for a kid who's as young as he is, playing a key position, do we really expect too much?
Probably from his performance, but I wasn't worried about his performance so much last week. I was worried that the reason why I didn't have the performance was probably because he was a bit inhibited from his own self in his injured shoulder. So it was a bit of a test case. It was a bit of make an example of him to let him know that, you know, he's playing in a team, a club, and these important decisions are made by him. Ultimately, he's the one that takes the field and has to play. And sometimes you can do it lots of different ways. I chose to make an example of it, and I don't regret that. I think that people really need to adapt team concepts really early in their life. Otherwise, we may not get them ever back. I don't like individuals.
What do you make of Watson's first game back?
I thought it was good. It's him and Hibbo. Hibbo had an injury just before the last one and come back and played like a skunk. You know, he wasn't happy with it. We weren't. But we changed a few things, and it's one of the things in a footy club that there's always something to do. And what we needed to do was rehab our guys better to come back and play and have to perform, not just to play. And so their program was the first time we've done it. They've done it together, a fair bit of it, and it looks like it's not a bad program. Other clubs can do it. We just had a year where everyone who came back just played terrible.
Mark, did you tell the players this week not to sort of read the newspaper reports about the court cases and things like that, and just sort of focus on like almost atoning for last week's game against Richmond and things?
I've read all the newspapers, I've watched all the TV, I've done everything, but I have not spoken once to the players about what to do and what not to do and anything about the court case. They don't want to know about it.
So you didn't sort of say, look, that it might be a distraction or anything?
No, I didn't talk to them about it at all, not one word. I don't know whether I'm doing the wrong thing or right thing, but no, they just want to play footy. We won, yeah.
Jake Carlisle, what are his chances for next week, Mark?
I haven't seen him today, but apparently he's a bit better. he really did only get a back spasm on Wednesday for Saturday. It's not enough time to get up. So in reasonable sort of thinking, logical thinking, you'd think he'd be back.
Imagine it would have been a fairly stressful week with the court case and a fairly stressful game. Is coaching still fun?
Oh yeah, well, it was a stressful week. Not so much the court case. That was a little bit stressful, but we at one stage had no players. Like we had 4 or 5 guys on Wednesday just went down at training. It was one of those days where you think, why do we even come out for? And there's a few more that played out there today that were in doubt. So amazing sort of a week.
And how did they play? Jake was obviously asking if you could name a few.
Oh no, you don't name them, but no, some of them contributed. Yep. And there was one that did particularly well. Yeah.
Is that part of the mental strength of guys that you learn about characters in that sense? When
I think so.
Quite right?
I loved Heppel today. I just loved his attitude as a man, because he plays the same every week, but even under the most severe pressure, he came out and just took the team with him a bit today. Yeah, it was outstanding.
Is there a Geelong player or a player you played with at Essendon that you'd compare him to?
No, he's quite different. He's sort of like Lingy, but Lingy is a bit slow and but he's the same sort of character, same drive and personality and communication skills and all that.
It's probably not the right thing to ask after a game individual-wise, but Brownlow medal, he's had an outstanding year. Would he be right up there, you would think?
I don't know whether he's a vote catcher or not, is he?
Not sure, but
he'd be close to our best and fairest. He's clearly stood up in most games. He rarely has bad matches, so it's a good thing.
With those the guys in doubt, were there any late calls there or any, like today?
Well, Tommy Bell-Chambers, Paddy was one, obviously. I've just mentioned Tommy Bell-Chambers, but Paddy was one that was... I came to the game and we didn't know whether he was going to play or not. So that would have gone down not so good. And I said I wanted to drop Joey. I couldn't do that. I have no one left.
You could have put the boots on.
Well, I reckon I could have done better than some of them in the first half. Me and you, Jake, could have played on the half-back flanks. I don't think so. Thanks, guys.